Let me start this all over. Kevin, you're my boy. If we ever see, I'm gonna dab you up. I'll buy you a drink when we get there. Um, Welcome back. I'm just gonna start from the top then. Welcome to this Thursday's Colorado Chronicles. We got a fun list of shit to talk about today. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. I Everyone shout out to Kevin. I had like 5 people on and then everybody left. So that's probably it. Thanks for jumping on. That would have been a shame. Lord knows I've made videos in the past where I shot the whole video and there's no sound, or I'm recording in warp speed, so like all the content is unusable. Days of my life lost to video errors. So thank you, shout out to Kevin for letting me know that my shit was broken. But we're live. We got that hot news, that hot Colorado content. This is the Colorado Chronicles, where we talk about the latest, the greatest, the hottest, the sexiest news, and we have a good old time on here. So as you guys jump it on, throw in the chat where you're watching from. This is meant to be interactive. A lot of time it's 99.9% me talking to myself in the screen for my online vanity. You think I'm super social, but I just like to be in my studio basement here and talk to myself where you guys can't talk back or talk shit. You can type shit, but I don't have to hear it. So we got some fun stuff to talk about. We're talking about the new development, the big purchase that Denver, I didn't even know they did this, like a land swap over in the Park Hill community. I'm for it. I think it's a win. So we're going to get into that today. We're going to talk about wolves, ranchers, and how they do not get along. I think it's a hot debate. I'm not anti-wolf, but I'm wolf curious, I guess, in this, not in that way, in the sense that I don't understand why we need to reintroduce wolves. So we're going to be talking about that today, about what's going on, because there's about to be the second wave of wolf introduction into Colorado, and everyone's like, hey man, can we pump the brakes just a little bit on this? What's up, guys? As you guys jumping on, say what's up. Say where you guys are watching from. If you have questions, throw them in the chat there. And then we're talking about wolves. We're talking about dogs. We're talking about a couple accidents. One deadly in a gold mine ended last year. The police came out with what happened, and then some knucklehead drove onto a ski run on accident. And then since it's going in the spirit of us all in Colorado freezing our asses off next week, we are going to, I was thinking, this is how my brain worked. I was thinking next week's going to be so cold, I'm going to freeze. I have cold phalanges, my toes, my hands, they get real cold. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to get the heater out. I got all the wood set up today. I was like, because I don't want to freeze to death. And then that made me think of animals. How do animals handle this outside at these times? A lot of them are probably going to freeze to death. And then I thought of the frogs that freeze and then they like can come back to life. They kind of like cryogenically freeze themselves, which took my brain over to frozen dead guy days up in Netherlands. Well, once Netherlands, now I believe it's in Estes Park, and I have never gone. This is one of those events that I always hear about. It looks like a great time, and I've never gone. So last when Ohio State, you guys have 2 more episodes of me wearing this same shirt, by the way. But the during the Ohio State game, my buddy was talking about going up there because I forget who's playing. It's I think Keller Williams is playing. There's some good people coming up there. Lotus, Keller Williams. So there's some good stuff going up there, and I'm stoked. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna get I got myself a little cabin up there, and I got my tickets, so I am in. So what I'm getting at is we're gonna wrap up the video today with that. So if you guys ready, let's rock and roll. The first thing we're gonna talk about is the big news. Kind of interesting news too, because I didn't even know this was a thing that we could do. I'm gonna share the screen. So Denver is having their land swap deal to acquire Park Hill Golf Course. Now, if you guys are familiar, Park Hill, it's an area that has seen a lot of I mean, it's an older neighborhood, but a lot of people started coming in here and like flipping those houses, um, and it's kind of starting to get a little bit fancy over there in Park Hill. But it was like one of the last places, like Park Hill and Harvey Park over here. These were like some of the last areas to find, somewhat affordable Colorado affordable pricing. And so this area had this giant 155 acres in the middle of it that was undeveloped. It was purchased by West Side Development, who owns a whole bunch of properties across the street. They actually, speaking of Harvey Park, if you're familiar with Loretta Heights over there, so they purchased Loretta Heights off of Dartmouth. Where would that be? Boom, right there. Is that it? Mm-hmm. It's along Federal. That's right. There it is. Boom. So Loretta Heights over in Harvey Park. I'm telling you all that to tell you this. They did a land swap with this West Side Investments company, and what that is they Denver owns 145 acres out by Denver Airport, and they wanted this property here because West Side Developments, they've been sitting on it, not doing anything with it, because their plan when they purchased it was to do like thousand home, like just develop this, just like all kinds of housing, everything like that. And it's like a golf course. It's a park that the that the community used to be able to use before it was purchased in, I think it was 2019. So they purchased it 2019. Haven't done anything with it since then. They purchased for like $24 million. Nothing. It's all fenced up. What's happening now is the city of Denver swapped their land out by the airport to get this land here, and they are going to turn it into a park, which is really cool. So big win for Park Hill over here. It's the largest land acquisition for Denver, the city of Denver, in over 100 years. That's wild. So there's going to be phases of development this upcoming year. They're going to do small things like all the trees and hedges are overrun. So um, they're going to, what up, Ashley? They're going to be doing all kinds of things like just cleaning up the trees a little bit, cleaning up the sidewalks, fixing that type of stuff. And then like easy to do things. Throw some picnic tables over there, maybe a dog park over there. They're considering disc golf course, stuff that you can get the community to be able to utilize the land before they really do anything else with it. Didn't really go into what phase 2 and phase 3 were, but it's cool. I think it's a big win for Park Hill over there. And West Side, I did a little research on West Side Developments, and they own so much land. So here's right where it's going to be. Just south of the Denver airport. They already own a bunch of. Oh, I'm not showing you right now. Oh, Sean. Cool. So there's the park. This is out by the airport here. Let me zoom in for you guys. So this is out by the airport right there. And this is the 144 acres out there. They already own a bunch of land over there. They've been developing and selling it. They sold in 2022 152 acres to PepsiCo. This is coming from the Denver Business Journal for 49 million, and then land just east of the Gaylord Rockies resort, that giant building that looks like a castle out by the airport. They sold them that land for 4.8 million. And then yeah, it mentions also the Harvey Park area. So they have tons of land across the state, and they already have land out that way. So it was just a swap. I didn't even know that. I know you just swap land like that, which is interesting. What do you guys think? Would you have any like Park Hill, Denver residents here? I think a big win. I can't see anything negative about it, other than everyone's consistently talking about us needing more housing. So that site could have been used for housing, but I think that's a big hole right there in the community that you would have kind of tore open, as far as like an area for people to go like walk the dogs and play and do all that type of stuff. So congrats to you. Next up, talking about the Colorado wolf reintroduction. The that word reintroduction tripped me up. So the Colorado Parks and Wildlife Commission, they held a public comment meeting about the wolf reintroduction, and this is a big thing that's going on right now, because there's this new wave of wolves that they're bringing down more. So I think they initially had 15 wolves. Is that a wolf? One with nature? It looks like a rat. Anyways, so the Colorado wolf, and you could see a lot of ranchers. The people were not super stoked. They had to like calm down the meeting, like everyone relaxed, because people were getting emotional. People were getting fired up. This is a really hot topic in Colorado, and this is the one that kind of confuses me because I'm like, cool, you want to bring back wolves. I don't want to see like species having a hard time and not having the lands to roam. But do we need to? Like, I feel like it's more damage can be done than, I mean, if we've been doing great without wolves in the area, why do we need to bring them back? I guess that's my argument. Do they need a place to be? Or are we just bringing them back to try to like set things right with nature? Because I feel like we've been doing okay. The hunters can take down the elk with the licenses. We can mitigate things very well. So the big argument is with ranchers. So ranchers, since they reintroduced the what was I think it was 15 originally. They currently have 9. I think like one was killed, 4 they had to like bring back in or something because they were doing too much damage. Actually, don't quote me on that one right now, but don't quote me on that because I don't want to get somebody fired up. And that's not what's going on. So, but they did say it's 9. I'm reading this from the Denver Post. So they currently have 9, and they want to introduce 15 more next month. So ranchers are just saying, hey, this is not great for our livestock, and these are apex predators that hunt for sport sometimes. So they're like, keep those Canadian wolves because that's where we're pulling them down from. Canada is gonna send us some wolves. I don't know, guys. I don't see the need for it. Why we need more wolves? Currently they don't have any rules too. So if like all the wolves start just ravaging animals, which they have, there was one wolf that killed about a dozen animals up in Grand County. So like Grand Lake, Granby, that area. And they're like, hey, like we can kill this. We can kill this wolf now, right? He's like ravaging the community. And so now they have a rule, or they proposed a rule that if a wolf kills more than 3 animals in a 30-day period, that they'll get that wolf out of town. So I don't know. Here's the other thing I think about. Have you guys ever seen the movie Frozen? Not with Elsa and them, but the Frozen. It was a movie where it was like one of those low budget movies about these skiers that were in the mountains somewhere like Colorado, and they were on a ski lift. And for some reason, they have all these safety checks where they put the cones on one of the. So what they'll do is they'll like put a cone on one of the cabins or lift chairs, and they wait for that one to come all the way back around because they know once that chair comes back, we've we've made sure there's nobody on the lifts. But the plot of this movie is that these kids, three people, get stuck on a what up, DJ Forecast? Yeah, Kevin. All right, cool. I got somebody that's with me. So these three kids get stuck on this chairlift in the middle of the mountains, and you cannot survive up there. Ain't gonna work. Uh, so cold, and so they had to try to get off. If you haven't seen it, I think it was like a 2010 movie. So if you haven't seen it, I'm gonna do a little bit of a spoiler to this one part where this kid's trying to climb off. He falls, he breaks his legs, and then wolves come. Wolves come and they rip him apart. And his two friends are up on the ski lift, and not a good experience. Not a good experience for anyone. And that is the thought that comes into my head when I think about this reintroduction of wolves. I'm like, it seems like I don't know if it's the juice is worth the squeeze. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, wolves. What else? What next do we have here? Let me see if I had any more notes on that. Oh, and this is super. Last thing I'll say on the wolf thing is it was a super debate. It's been a super debated topic, and it barely passed. This is one of those things that passed. It was 51% vote back in 2000. I want to say 20. So it's just a super interesting topic, and it's just something to follow in Colorado. Now, going from wolves, we go from that to the domesticated wolf, which now can just sit in the car and greet guests. I am talking about what's the name? Bowie, a Colorado Uber dog that is, I don't know, he's internet famous. I don't know him. Seems like a great dog. I mean, all dogs are great, but homeboy just like started bringing his dogs on in the Uber with him, and he's like, dude, Colorado is the dog state. I've never seen any place ever that loves dogs more than Colorado. It's not like, hey, we're dog friendly. It's like, bring your freaking dog. Unless you're like in a super congested area where everyone's bringing their dogs, sometimes it's too much. But yeah, people love dogs. One dog in the car, this is the right place to do it. So this little cutie patootie just rides around. His owner, you can make so much money, and well, maybe not so much money, but you can make some money in YouTube doing some silly things. Homeboy records him and his dog driving Uber, and that's his shtick. I read news articles. I guess he's bringing more joy to the world. I'll shut up. I retract it. I'm not knocking your creativity, bud. Yeah, Colorado's such a dog friendly place, so I knew people would like it. I would say, yeah, I agree with you. However, some people do not like dogs. Some people, dogs scare the shit out of them. So I don't know. I don't think you should assume everyone knows dog, but I think it's a better life for the dog. It's a better life for the dog, so I support it rather than him sitting at home. But don't everybody start doing that, because some people don't like dogs. Why am I lecturing? All right, what's up? Hey guys, what is up? I see some of the other guys jumping on here. Say what's up when you guys are jumping on. Let me know where you guys are watching from. If you have a Colorado question, that is why I do this on Thursdays. That's why I go live here talking about latest, greatest Colorado news. On Saturdays, 8 a.m. Mountain Time, I cover the latest, greatest. Okay, one with nature. I am not putting that on the screen, but the Saturday 8 a.m. is altitude living, and that's where I walk you through all the newest homes to be hitting the Foothills market. So from like Morrison, Golden, all the way up to like Bailey, Blackhawk. I cover all those areas. So if you want to stay up to date, that's just like looking at how house porn together and judging it. We do that on Saturday. So check it out. But yeah, this is really time for us to jump on, chat it up. So if you have questions, great time to ask. I'm gonna bring you from cute puppies, and I'm gonna bring you down. So this story just kind of caught my eye because this is an accident that happened at the um, Molly Kathleen gold mine. And last year, October 10th, what had happened was there was some accident in a mine, which sounds totally scary. So people were about 1,000 feet underground, and like the train mount or the cart, what's it called? The elevator. Jesus. The elevator stopped operating. There was like 12 people in there, and the tour operator had died. So there was somebody died, but they didn't say how he died. And I'm just weird like that I'm like, how did he die? Like, not to be morbid, but I want to know. And they said nothing was wrong, like something was wrong with the door. But it's fine. The mine is still closed right now, but I need answers. So I'm giving you the update that there's not really an update. Either they're not going to tell us, or see, it says 500 feet down right now, and down further. This is Associated Press. Down further, they said 1,000, but nonetheless, we don't know. And then this person, I want to talk to you guys about this one because this one made me laugh. Just to be that guy in that moment and just be like, oh God, what did I just do? So homeboy was trying to get to like the employee housing section of Keystone, and I don't know if it was at night. Hopefully it was at night, but he thought this was a road somewhere, and he just drove his car on it, and then his car just sank in the snow, and he's stuck there, and they can't get him out. So they had to just like put gates, put little fencing around his car the next day so people could still snowboard and ski until they could get it figured out. I thought this was funny because just that moment where you're like, you probably don't have service right there either. Maybe you do, but you're sitting there, you're looking at your map, it's not feeling good. you you realize you're stuck. You look around. It's still probably dark and it's snow, but then you have to like go get help, let somebody know that your car's stuck, and then somebody has to explain to you, dude, you're in the middle of a ski run. That's embarrassing. that's an L for the day, big time. So, what do you guys think? Was anybody out there? Did anybody see this by chance? I would just be like, hey, you can't park there. All right. I'm all over the place with news. Thank you, DJ Forecast. Go Buckeyes. Yeah, I said 2 more with this episode. I wore it last week. We won. So I'm wearing it tonight because we're here. And then Saturday, I'll have to wear it again. So I'll be happy or sadsies. I won't really be too upset, but I want us to win, obviously. What is up? Any Notre Dame fans on here? It's always nice. My brother-in-law is a Notre Dame fan, and I really love it because now I get to, talk a little schmack to somebody this week, and somebody gets to be like bragging rights for a year. It feels great. So I hope it's me. Next up, I'm just doing odd stuff this week, but fun stuff here. So, fossilized remains of a 75-year-old swamp dweller has been discovered by paleontologists in Northwest Colorado. Now, this guy isn't a big guy; he's a little guy. But we have had big guys, so we have all kinds of like Triceratops and Brontosaurus, like all the dinosaurs. We got not all of them, but a lot of dinosaurs we have fossils of up here. And so if you go out to like Red Rocks Amphitheater, there's I think it's Triceratops Trail, and there's like an area they can go walk up to, and it has a little placard of what you're seeing in the view out there, which is amazing. I love a good plaque out in nature to tell me what I'm looking at, so I can appreciate it more. But that area between that hogback and then the actual mountains. So if there's a little, I'll pull it up for you guys that aren't familiar. We're all gonna learn today. Red Rock. I should add. There we go. Cool. So if you're ever looking at, there's this hogback area, that's Red Rocks Amphitheater. But like this is a peak right here. So this area in here, there's like its own little valley. Well, it used to be a seaway. And so what they found was a marsupial. Um, but right over there we have all kinds of other fossils. So I just think it's cool because Colorado is dope and we have freaking dinosaurs out here, guys. But it was, I think, University of CU Museum of Natural History. Nah, it was somebody about CU, the school that had found it. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. What school was it? Do you guys care which school it was? CU Boulder. University of Colorado team behind the discovery has been digging just outside of Wrangley, Colorado for 15 years and recently unearthed one of the biggest and strangest findings yet, the jaw of a Heliocola piscineus, piscanus, or vertebrate swamp dweller. Cool. Look at that. It's amazing that they could figure out what that is from. I'm like, oh, that's a fox. Crazy. Where's that place at? Wrigley, it said. Let's look that up. I'm not familiar with that one. Oh no, it's got like the talk to text on. No, it's not any of it. That's just, I just doxed Jessica Wrigley though. But all right, we'll move on. What else we got? Uh, this is, oh, that's Keller Williams. No, there was one on AI. There we go. So the Colorado Department of Planning is putting a budget of $1.5 million, $1.3 million to develop a platform that includes an AI powered plan to review permitting. So this is like a permitting wizard that Denver wants to put in place. So you ever have to like do planning shit and you have to like send something in and somebody's like 3 days to review it and you got this one thing is wrong, so you just gotta go back and you keep doing things. That's annoying. So what they're doing is they're they want to be leading the pack and innovator in this space with planning. So it's essentially like a um TurboTax type thing. So it guide applicants through the permitting process. As you're filling out the forms, the tool would be able to ask you a series of guiding questions to make sure applicants meet the appropriate criteria for a permit before it's submitted for review. I don't even know if I'd consider that AI. Would you? I mean, they have the plans. You just have something check. I mean, would you call TurboTax AI? This is like TurboTax type stuff. It's going to look up the data. Cool. Yeah. So 800 of the total plan will come from department's savings. And then there's a Colorado, the Denver Innovation Fund that's going to toss in the other 500. So that's a win. That's a win right there. especially with the like accessory dwelling units. Um, Actually, you don't have to permit to have those anymore if you were watching the last episode. So you don't have to get a permit for doing the ADU. But if this is going to also help out with planes getting approved for ADUs, that's probably a good move for the city because they just made it available to residents to just throw those up. And last thing, okay. So I'm gonna tell you the story behind this. So this guy from Netherlands that he passed away, and they were storing his body in their home in Netherlands. And I'm sorry, in not Netherlands. He's originally from Norway. Gotcha. And I'm like, no, I think it was Netherlands. So he's from Norway. This guy's from Norway. He passes away. He's into cryonics. So the idea of freezing your body to bring you back. Demolition Day is what we said it was. So Demolition Day. Yeah, that's it. Um, this guy passed away. They had him frozen up in the house in Norway, and Norway's like, nah, you can't have this. One of the person was like in the family was deported for an old visa, and they like basically had to go. And then the son found out that Netherlands, Colorado has rules that would allow you to keep a body on the premises. And so there he is. There he is up in Netherlands. He was in Netherlands, originally moved to Netherlands in a tough shed. So this dude is just in somebody's house, not in the house, but in a tough shed outside of the house. He's on your property, and they would just bring in dry ice to pack around the thing. In Netherlands pretty cold anyways, but they'd have to bring up dry ice weekly to keep him frozen. And it was such a big thing that there is now a festival up there. Pull up some photos here for you. They have coffin races. It's a really cool event. I've This is one of those Colorado events that I I've always seen it and it looks cool, but I've never actually gone. So they have coffin races, like through like obstacle course type thing. Just silly. Okay, that's what are we doing? That looks cold. Oh, I guess you get to pick your costume. Cool. So coffin races up there, a big festival. A couple good bands like Lotus and Keller Williams are going to be out there this year. So I got myself a little cabin. I'm going to be throwing down up there. Let me go back here. It's one of those like no real reason to have a festival, but we're gonna have a festival. That's like some mountain town shit right there, and I think it's cool. So so that's cool. So that is well, they have it every year. He was originally in Netherlands, but just recently he got moved down to Estes Park, which is 40 miles away. So in August of 2023, it was time for Grandpa to get an upgrade. With his grandson's permission, Grandpa Brado was moved by a team from Alcor, driven to the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park. He's in their ice house out there. He's currently submerged now in liquid nitrogen. So it looks like he got like a better situation. What a wild ride for Grandpa Pareto. But I hope he's smiling wherever he's from. You got yourself a festival. I hope you get to come back. I hope it all works out. You get to come back and be like, dude, they've been throwing parties for you for years. That would be so sick. So I hope it works out for Grandpa Bredo. But cool event. What's the schedule this year? March 14th, 15th, and the 16th. They have like a polar plunge, coffin races, music, costumes, dancing, that type of stuff. Yeah, that hotel. Exactly. That is wild. And yeah, that is like a super. Oh, you're saying as a statement of fact, not a question. Yes, that is correct. That is the hotel from The Shining. And yeah, that picture of um Jack Nicholson frozen in the snow, that's essentially happening. Crazy story. Crazy story. Well, that's what I got for you guys. So unless you guys have any questions, you got a few seconds to toss them in there. Give me a like on the video if you guys have made it this far. Do this every Saturday or Thursday, and I have one live on Saturday as well. That is the walking through mountain homes. We cover the greater Denver metro area, Colorado Springs. My team, our niche is our large geographical territory. We cover more mountains in both cities. That's more than any agent or team I know. So if you're trying to find your somewhere in Colorado, you hit us up. And I love you. Goodbye.